All right. All right. Welcome to Spark Tarot. I'm your host, Mr. Renew. And today we have a daily message just for you. Hopefully you guys can hear this. See punk ass Robin in the flow. He's been annoying me. Irritating. But like, subscribe. Let's get all that stuff out the way. All right, so never been here. This is the Yap session. You can just skip ahead to the reading, but I'll give you just a vent and yap. All right. Without further ado, I'll see you in your reading. So, man, it's been crazy these last couple of days. So I know I haven't posted. I think I posted once on the other channel, but I've just been working in between, and I moved. So it's cool. Before I forget, I want to say something because it's on my mind, and it pissed me off. But the only reason why I got pissed off because it's kind of true. But the only reason why I got a little pissed off was because it's misunderstood. A lot of things in this world is misunderstood, man, and it's stupid as fuck to me. And I see it, and I'm tired of being viewed like the dummy. I'm tired of being able to clearly communicate shit and it still not be received. I'm tired of that shit, but I understand it's going to be the case. I just hate how people argue tooth and nail against shit that they just don't even understand. It's so stupid to me for the simple fact that you didn't even think to even try to explore this area. You didn't think to even try. You did not have a thought that said, I wonder if I can go and do this or not. Yet you want to tell a motherfucker they are wrong when they spent 10 years doing the shit? It's crazy. And, you know, it's where I go. So it'd be my fault. I go to places for discord and debate. I want to talk. But people want to argue. So whenever I'm arguing with people, let's say online, sometimes people don't even understand that they're arguing and they think that they're making points when they're repeating shit. It's crazy because it's written down. So to me, it displays a low level of comprehension skill. A low level of comprehension skill allows a person to be a fully functioning adult. But they don't understand the shit that they're doing. They don't understand the things that they're seeing. They don't understand the things that they're going through. So I guess it's up to motherfuckers like me to try to do something, I don't know, to help these motherfuckers. And sometimes telling them not like it is the case. Letting the motherfucker know. So the comment that I read, it was on somebody's post, community board post on YouTube, and it said, if you got coaching, if you got courses, and you give people advice, yet you're not living the life that you want to live or teaching people to live, then you should not be talking. Essentially, that's what it said, pretty much. And I find that to be so offensive to all the people who work so hard, who try so hard, and they do not get successful. They don't become successful, but the success is the journey and experiences. My job as a teacher is not to make sure that they know every fucking thing. No, my job as a teacher is to show them skills, behaviors, lessons. And if they learn from those things, then I have done my job as a provider of education. Other words, a teacher. I can't make you learn. I can't make you do shit. I can't force you to do things. And even if you do it, that doesn't mean you actually know what's going on. So, for me, I think it's so ignorant that people do not believe you can be where you are and still be helpful. If that's the case, if you needed to be extremely successful and have everything perfectly aligned, well then nobody can tell nobody shit about anything, because life is always changing and nobody has done the same thing twice. And something around it has changed, so it is always a new situation. So how in the fuck can you expect somebody to say you aren't worthy of teaching me something when you still don't even have half of the experience that I'm bringing? So again, it wasn't a direct attack for me, but I find that to be ignorant on people trying. What about old people, huh? What about old folks who switched careers? Of course their lives aren't going to be the exact same location and area that they might want it to be. Motherfucker, they're changing. But does that take away the 24 fucking years from before? Bless you. It should not. But people think like that. So if you have anything in works, in progress, make sure that you are promoting that shit, because this is what it's called, a pre-sale. Just because you do something doesn't mean that you want it done like somebody else. Just because somebody has something doesn't mean that they're not living in a way that you would never want to live. It is not acceptable for people to just sit here and berate others for the simple fact that they can't understand the other. Communication is the key, but the communication of your own self comes first. If you don't know how you talk, interact, and respond to people, then you won't know how to adjust those talks, responses to people when you are in a situation unknown. A surprise. Damn, I wasn't expecting that. Am I about to slap this person? Am I about to cry? What am I going to do? So I just wanted to make that known, and I just want to give y'all some encouragement, man, to say, fuck people and what the fuck they don't know. It's just that simple. Again, this is me just giving you examples based upon what I do. And so if I stop doing it, it will be a lot better for me. And that's just the easy, simple solution. So instead of going and purposely antagonizing people with thoughts on posts who I feel just would explode and not look to learn or receive, I purposely do those things because it exposes the responses. And when you have that response exposed in a place like Instagram where people can see the comments, for me, that's a learning lesson. That's what I'm doing now. But in regards, bless you, but in regards to real life, it's teaching. Those are notes. And so if somebody make a comment that's just erroneous, and then I come by and I say some shit, and then they want to argue, I love it because I get to now pinpoint and display the terms, word choices, and the appropriations used to defend against me. In other words, since I'm a really good teacher, I know how to pull things out of people. I can do it in a healthy way, and I can do it in a not so healthy way, but it's all healthy because it's beneficial. This dude is so irritating, man. He's been irritating the fuck out of me. So, dudes, he's a dude cat. He wants to do what the fuck he wants to do. Like right now, he wants to shut the fuck up. Shut up. Gosh. He just does this shit on purpose, though, to me. Like, he wants certain things, and he just doesn't go do it. And because of that, he yells at me. Yeah, you. Sound good in the mic, though. So, bless you. Alright, bro. We don't need this. We don't need all of this. So, but anyways, I think that's about time. Yeah, give people grace, man, especially on their growing. Especially if you're not even older than these people. You don't even know what it fucking means to have things just change for you. Bro. All of these sounds and noises is fucking wild, man. Alright. And now she is mad at him. See what the fuck I'll be dealing with, man? Nah, but this is choices made. Choices made. So for me, in my situation right now, I am living the life that I want to live. I'm learning the lesson of being more comfortable with that decision and choice. So me and my life, I'm cool. I'm cool with what is going on. You know, of course I have worries, but don't we all? And so, in the case of what I'm doing, I'm trying to absorb my situation and understand it in a way that would allow me to grow from these things. Again, I'm trying to grow. And so, in order to grow, you must put yourself in situations that force you to grow. And so, in my case, I'm forcing myself to grow by not controlling things. It's crazy as fuck. But I'm a very controlling person. And I noticed this by being with my cats. Like, because it's just me and them right now, and no other people outside of us and those I choose to interact with, I literally have to notice me. And so, like when Robin, because they're nocturnal, they be wanting to be up. But I get up early anyway, so when my alarm clock goes off at 4:40 in the morning, sometimes that nigga be up already, just watching people on the outside, I guess. But then he start yelling and bitching and doing all this shit that he was just doing right now, and it's just like, I just woke up. I just woke up, and you in my ear just screaming and yelling. And then I realized over the last 3 days, the first feeling I've been waking up with has been anger and frustration. And so that's what I'm learning. I'm learning to not control certain things. Yesterday I worked all day. Biggest day that I made doing this job in this spot. And that was great because I realized that this would be a good spot. But I realized that I only slept for 2 hours the day before. So I really was going on for real, like 2 hours, 3 hours during a 24 or a 48-hour period. So I was up straight for like over a day. And I realized yesterday, like, damn, bro, there's no reason for you to do this outside of fear and worry. Nothing outside of that. But I know I need certain things. And I know if I wait, like, I got money always coming in because when I work today, I don't get paid until tomorrow, even though it's an instant payout. So the reason why I'm saying is because for the simple fact that the life that I'm living is never going to be the same as somebody else's. Never. I have been moving around because I needed to see different things. And in me seeing different things, I realized that people live happily with way less in worse situations. They just accept it. And that's because they are grounded and rooted within that place. So, for instance, when I was in a mountain town, that was a cool little spot because there's a lot of people who lived in their cars. Lots of people. Lots of people who lived in their RVs. And so my thing is like, damn, if you were ever homeless and you got a bunch of people, that my best bet would be to try to get like a hoopty, the cheapest possible car ever. Doesn't matter. Just go get the cheapest car. And now, again, you got a place to store your shit. You got a place to fucking be protected and housed for a little bit. But if you can do better, get an RV. Oh, did y'all know that people literally buy RVs to not have a house and just travel? Do you know that there are places all across this nation with that are called rest areas down along interstates that will allow people to rest and bathe and shower and shave and eat and live? You wouldn't know unless you did it or unless you listen to a person like me tell you. So what I'm saying is that it really truly is all about perspective. And it takes time to let that perspective develop and download. And I say it that way because a perspective is a feeling. And a perception is an idea. You need to use a sense, one of your 6 senses, in order to perceive something. This is why there is a fine line and a distinction. Perspectives, you don't need anything but the response and the awareness of that response. So your perspective can be, oh, I'm fearful of a person, just because you got fear flowing through your body. Whereas the perception of fear would be you watch somebody move aggressively in a way that make you feel uncomfortable. And then you can observe still and say, oh, this is this person's regular behavior, Or you can say, oh, I can sense another fearful act or threatening act. So that would increase that fear, continuing to justify that perception upon you and your perspectives. In other words, if you keep looking at shit, you can justify the feelings. So that's very simple. I know I'm taking so many things that are super complex and I make it simple because I know not just this, I know a bunch of shit. And it's not, and the more that I learn as I do this, I slowly get more and more in depth, right? Slowly. But most of the time, it's like a 201 level course. You take the first class, you take the second class, then you take the level 2, first class, level 2, second class, then you get into your more advanced courses. I normally rock with, in general, with most people, a level 2 to 3, sometimes 4. In all subjects, damn near, right? That's just because it takes me time to learn things, and so I take the time. And with that time given, I can do different things and I can know certain things. But there are other things where I got like a level 10 depth of knowledge on. How many people are in this class? 3 of us? I can't expect the whole world to know what we're talking about when only 3 of us qualified to be in the goddamn class. I can't fault them for not being aware, but I could be mad. I could have that perspective of these are stupid people. Or I can take the perception of these are people who don't care about this topic. Which will you decide? But this is what I'm saying. This is why it's important for me, because of the simple fact that I get this and I enact this. But a lot of tarot readers on here, they always say, hey, we got to be discerning. Hey, you got to have love and light. You got to have all of these things, right? But where do you get your awareness from? Where do you get your grace from? Where do these things come from when you don't have anything to get them from? There's nothing out there. So it got to come from inside of you. It has to. And in that case, we should be in a position to where we can start to look at the basic principles of being in a body. And so it starts off simply. It starts off by just simply understanding that there are spaces. And if you have a space, then you have a dual space. Again, if you got one pair of shoes, how many shoes does it come with? 2. So we have to think that way. Guess what? It's not 1 and it's not 2, it's actually 3. When you're thinking in that way of understanding perception and perspective, when you see that, you create a triangle. That triangulation comes in 2 different forms. If you didn't study this in middle school, I'm gonna bring it to you right now. But when you're looking at geometries, everything is twofold. Everything is twofold. We can measure things in degrees, but because most people are not smart enough, or they don't pay attention enough, or they don't try hard enough, they don't understand the other side, which is the high school version of geometry, and that is radians. And we use radial measurements way more often than degrees, even though everyone knows degrees. But with the radial, radial, with the radial measurements and with the degrees measurements, there are also, those are 2 higher levels. Imagine them to be non-physical. Then you got the physical side of the measurements, which is what most people understand as like side length and things like that, or an angle. So, Nefertiti, are you all right? She is not happy at this dude, Robin. I feel like me and her have been bullying Robin on this trip because she don't want him by her and she don't want him by her. And he don't care. But she'll just do that when she want him to go. But he don't leave. So I don't want to do that because it's super loud. Is it not? I feel like it's super loud, but hopefully it'll be okay. So, but anyways, yeah. Let's get back to the reading, I guess. So, if I have to wrap this up real quick, if I have to say anything, give yourself grace, give yourself time, and start studying spaces. Again, spaces come naturally as two, but when you have two, you have what you call the square root of two. And if you don't know, go ahead. And if you don't know the square root of two, that is, only thing you need to know is that it creates an irrational number. Okay, and what that means is some magical shit. Okay, all right. So some magical shit will happen when you try to find the root to something that is dual. So if I take a space, or if I take these two pairs of shoes, and if I try to find the root to the shoe, or the most foundational part, it doesn't exist because it's what we call a pair. And so because it's a pair, we're trying to see what the pair is, but there's no such thing as a pair. We use that term to superimpose it onto certain things to signify aspects. So as we signify these aspects, these changes that we're doing, sorry, some dude was just staring at me, so I had to look at his ass back. But those changes, like right then, there's a third party in the car watching me. I don't know why they decided to come over here, but they're just going to the store. But what I'm saying is, I could have took that another way, right? I could have took that as, oh, he trying to stare me down and look at me and all this other shit. But guess what? His homeboy just got out the car and got a headset on too. And I got a headset on. So for me, that's the third way. You see that? You see that? Again, I have my initial thought. What the fuck is he looking at? Or, I mean, first initially I was just like, okay, cool, there's a person walking. But then he was staring at me, which then changed my brain, my perception, right? It said, what the fuck he looking at? And then I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna look at you until one of us backed down, and he did. I went back to doing what I was doing. And then I looked in the car, and his homeboy has a headset like if he was a trucker. I know trucking headsets now because I've been seeing them. But that was the difference. I'm like, okay, cool. That's three different ways, and I can choose how I want to feel about all of those three different things now. And the feeling that I have becomes what we identify as the pair. This is trigonometry. In geometry, we are looking at three different ways to where we can relate across a single space. Again, here's one single space. I can look at this side, and I can look at that side, or I can look at the upside. Three different ways. But am I doing that over here, or am I doing that over here? Am I doing that in the middle, or am I doing it on the side? So that is where the time dynamic comes into the geometry. You got these three geometric positions always locked in, frozen. And then you have the location. But then that location has to be described as either a parameter, something along the outside, or something with an area, something on the inside of a parameter. So now I got these three things within a fixed space called inside or outside. And now these three things have a dynamic attached to them. In other words, they all move in their own way. And so as my up goes up, as my down goes down, as my left goes left, as my right goes right, I have to know that there's an inside flow or an outside flow. There's an input and an output with those three things. But I just named 6 things. It's a pair. Again, I have 3 things: height, width, and length, packaged right here. But I got the up with the down. So now I'm seeing these 3 things right here as 6 things. And then when you take those 6 things, you got to have it in a 7th, which is the space. I'm in this area, I'm in that area, I'm in this area, I'm in this area. I'm not in the area caught on the outside area. Am I still in an area? Yes, I'm in an area that's outside of this parameter. Which takes us to the 8. Which now, am I inside or am I out? I'm constantly inside and out. I'm constantly exchanging. I'm constantly infinite looping, doing it constantly. So where does the number 9 come in? Well, the number 9 is what we use to identify what was, what will be, and what can be. It's 9 is the number of potentiality. It is the number 10. Again, the first number is 0, the last number is 9. 10 different digits. What does that mean? Well, just like only numbers go from no number all the way up to 9 on a dice block, if this is, let's say, Mario Party or something, same thing if you had a dice roll. It will go up to 6, right? What that is showing you is that there is a cap amongst the probability within a space. So if I'm taking a perception, I'm learning something, there is always going to be a cap on what a person can learn. And this is the basis of a grade level. And a person who can exceed grade level must exceed grade level in multiple areas, and then there is still another contributing factor outside of that, and that would be the emotional maturity. It takes so many different things to come together to skip a grade, let's say, to be above where your cap is. And that is what the number 9 is all about. The number 9 is trying to show you the limitations of what you are and what you have and put that in a new higher level. So when we're talking about growing, when we're talking about spiritually developing, we have to understand the numbers attached to it, because the numbers are showing us the characteristics of the energies within the nation. I was going to say the nation, but I was thinking universe. So I guess the universal nation. We have to know the numbers are exuding these behaviors, these characteristics. Just like people don't understand that the zodiac signs are personifications of the energies around people. But that is only up to 6 as well, and it's a dualistic point of view, because the 7 goes into the time frame or the house position in itself. The 8 goes within the loops of the good and bad within that position versus not being in that position. I'm in period 1, but I don't want to go to period 3, so I just hang out, and I always miss a bunch of third hour because I want to hang out with my second hour teacher in class. It's not, I hope that this shit makes sense, because it's not foo-foo, it's not willy-nilly. What this shit is the shit in school that you didn't want to learn, or didn't have a teacher know it deep enough, or didn't have a teacher be expansive enough. You can have a great teacher who know a lot of shit about the topic, depth. You can have a teacher who knows a lot about a bunch of things, but without much depth. Both are extremely valuable by themselves. You got the A side, got the B side. But we want the hypotenuse, the C side, the thing that will create a triangle. The thing that will create a triangle. The thing that will help us now make one space into a dual space. Again, it automatically squares it when you have what you call a hypotenuse, or the C side. A plus B equals C. Mom plus dad equals child. When you have that understanding, again, it will allow you to reach a greater threshold because you can polarize it. So now the C, or the child, can become an A or a B. And when that C becomes an A or a B, it extends. It extends. And now it doesn't stop being C. It's just viewed as an A or a B. Every parent has a parent. Every child has a child. Every parent has a parent. Every child has a child. Little baby girls take care of baby dolls like it's their child. Why are they becoming an A or a B? Again, it's because they already are. You have to be aware of it. You have to be aware of your ability to be everything. You do. It's up to you to do it. So, that was a long ass rant. It's always a long ass rant when I'm not here, when I've been gone. So, since I've been gone, I'm about to come back and read. So, alright. Let's start the reading. Okay. So, what is our overall energy for today? We did a whole lot of talking. whole lot of understanding of awareness, perception, and leaving space so people can actually learn. That's called time for most people. So sometimes you need more time to learn things. So let's see what our overall energy for today is, and then we'll get out of here with a final message. So I'm using the Jack deck, Nightmare Before Christmas. Uh, Again, this deck helps me connect to my inner child, man, which is probably why I'm sitting here ranting like I did before. But yeah, it's just the understanding that people are not the same. And so just because you're living a life doesn't mean that it's not the life you might want to live. Just because you are living a life and you never want to live the life of another person does not mean you can't learn from that person. I'm a very chill, humble person, man. And so yesterday when I was doing laundry, um, some fucking homeless man came up to me and was like, "Yo, you got some hot water?" And I said, "Nigga, what the fuck would make you think that I had hot water? Do I look like a fucking heating source?" And he laughed. And I said, "Now, do I have water bottles that may be in my car that is possibly hot? Yeah, I do. I do. I probably got some bottled water that's in my car and it's hot. Is it hot water? No, it's not the hot water for your cup noodles, but here's a water for you for your cup noodles, and here's a water for you for your body." And then we started chopping it up, and I was telling them how, I'm on the move and shit. I don't want a place. I don't want just a home in one spot. Rather invest in a couple of Airbnbs and visit the motherfuckers when I want. I'd rather do that, and keep pushing and moving and seeing and helping people all around the world. So he was telling me how he works. He got like 5 different jobs. Again, he's a homeless man, but he actually got 5 jobs. So instead of thinking of homeless people as just fucking degenerate folks, talk to them. And I found out that this dude, he hustles. And I asked him, again, he was a smart dude. And so at the end of the day, I was like, okay, so what I've been learning is daily budgets. And so it's like, what is your minimum amount that you need to make on a daily in order to survive? And he said $3. And for me, I'm like, I cannot live off of $3, bro. 20 is where I'm about $25 right now on a day, so I can live back. Well, probably closer to $15 a day. Just depends on the day, I guess. So there are certain days where again I don't need to buy anything like whatsoever. I already got food. I already got gas. I already got entertainment. There's nothing I need to spend money on. And then there's some days like right now. I'm glad I'm waiting on the money to come in, but I'm glad. Look at this. I thought it was stuck reading, but I'm glad that I'm not doing anything or I'm waiting on the money because I got to get gas. And if I didn't have to wait, I wouldn't be reading right now. I'll just be working. If I didn't have to wait, I wouldn't have taken the chance to, love all my cats. If I didn't wait, I wouldn't have had the chance to get these downloads. If I didn't have to wait, I would be working right now, tired, not even giving to another part of myself. So, is it wrong of me to sit here and wait? Because I'm not waiting. Again, I know it's coming, right? I know it's coming. I'm not waiting on that. I'm focused on doing other shit. The money ain't waiting on me to just make it so it can come back. No, the money is already en route. It don't matter where it's going. So, when I had my fucking nice house, nice apartment, all my fucking things, when I had that shit, you know what I was worried about? When the money coming. Now, since I got rid of all of that shit and I got the things that I need most important to me, I'm learning to be okay when the money is coming. I'm learning to be okay that I don't need to I don't need it today. I don't need it right now. Same thing with friends. Like, I don't have friends, bro. Like, I don't have friends, and I forgot who I was listening to. Somebody was like, yeah, most people don't have friends, they got acquaintances. And if you're lucky and blessed enough to have a friend, then you are one of the rare few of this world. And so I think that's great because I don't have friends. I'd rather have colleagues and associates because that brings us together. It forces us and ties us together in a situation outside, like a work colleague, right? The work is what brought us together. If I had an associate, oh, maybe it's the Smith store that I always frequent. And now those work associates are associated with me because they're doing their job at that facility. I'm doing my own job at that facility. And we don't work together, but we see each other in passing. And because I'm me and I'm a cool ass person, I always like to make people feel good and happy and shit because that leaves me with good, happy memories. Selfish as fuck. But the point is that I can accept things without feeling any kind of way about it. Again, I don't know if that's just because I can control my feelings, but I don't feel good or bad when I'm just in wait now. It's just a matter of knowing what the fuck it is. Sorry. Four Cups energy, exactly. I can be cool with this, and I can wait on what is presented. Again, this card doesn't express declining what is being told to you. This just shows something being offered. And that's why I like this card, this deck, because it has clear different meanings from the original tarot. But they're accurate as fuck. Because to me, that's just a different degree of the same topic. Side note, if you ever heard of like Freemasonry, 33-degree master mason, things like that. First, you gotta ask the question, why are they using numbers? Again, I'm telling you about that universal characteristic aspect. Why are they using numbers? And then number two, why? Why? So then you got to step into something called degrees. And that degrees show you the level of knowledge that you have within a topic. And so when you got 1 degree of knowledge, you know a lot, but you don't know much about the whole volume of it. If I pull out one card, we can know one energy, this is really good energy. We can know one energy, but that doesn't give us all the energies of the deck, right? So we're here, got this nice Ace of Pentacles. I didn't cut the deck. Yeah, that's where it basically comes down to. So, learning to create space for time, to allow time to process and pass spaces in your mind is the name of the game of the clear model. Again, I'm sure, so I've learned from old people, I've learned from young people, I've learned from rich people, I've learned from fucking poor people, homeless people, people in real estate with hella houses. I have learned from all walks of life. And one thing that I've learned is how I can put together the parts of me that are hurt, the parts of me that my parents don't get. If I have a 33-degree problem and my parents are only at degree 12, you gotta stop being mad at those folks. Again, I personally don't hate my parents, even if they tried to do the worst things to me and then lie about it. The lying about it is worse than the acting in of itself. Because my brother, my pretend brother, that nigga didn't lie about it, and I respected that a lot more. That nigga made it clear. Yeah, niggas die. People die. I like watching the soul of people leave their eyes. You can see it. Okay, cool. Cool. You doing rituals too now? Oh, cool. Thank you. Joining cults? Trying to blame the little brother? I see. All right, people. Well, again, what am I to do? Am I supposed to be mad? No, I gotta just take it like what it is. Am I supposed to be mad that my money ain't came here yet? No, I'll just take it as is and live life with what life is given. And again, after being up for over a whole day and then just working, yeah, I was happy. Yeah, it wasn't as much as I made before in a day, but it was all on me, on my time, without nothing outside of what I desired to do. get to talk to people the way I want to. I get to do things that I enjoy. I get to see lots of different places and people. And you know what? It wouldn't have been unless my family was honest with me. And they were honest with me in the sense of saying they don't like me, they don't hate me, or they just don't understand me. And that understanding or misunderstanding or lack of understanding, that may have led to their actions of hatred. But at the end of the day, maybe they had a lot of depth of information about me, and that is what caused them the fear. I don't know. I just know that we gotta forgive these folks because that is a muscle that we're practicing for ourselves. And again, what does that mean? When you do something to hurt you, like again, I could have, like last night, left my car running by accident and my lights on. So I would have been mad as fuck if I didn't have a battery, right? Would have been mad as fuck if I don't have gas, right? To even cut the car on. My smart ass decided to park right by a goddamn gas station. I also decided to park by a place where I can get a battery. I also decided a couple of earlier in the weeks that I'm just going to cash out every single day. To where even if I have to sit here in a state to where I'm immobilized, I only got to do it for a day. And guess what? Don't we sit down and purposely meditate to immobilize ourselves? Yeah. Gotta find the right perspective, man. So, I know I'm not the richest man in the world. Again, I have not been afraid to like start dating and things again. I'm in a new spot, new people. I don't mind, but I have that fear of like when I was younger, of needing to go and try to like go get a girl and be attractive and do all of those things. When in reality, I realized that what made it difficult for me to get a girl has been me being attractive. So it's like the girls who aren't very attractive, who know that they have really good personalities and they're good people, you know, the average girl, they'll come up and talk, and that's great. And we have great conversations, you know, and then it's normally them that say, oh, he's too much for me. But for me, I'm like, hell yeah, you great. And then the girls who so-called have all this status and the whole like super fine and shit, they are insecure as fuck. They're used to being catered to. So they don't know how to get up and I think spiritual side say wipe their own ass, or you can't even fart without somebody lifting up their cheek for them. Need somebody to lift their fucking cheek so they can fart. But that's the cool thing, man. I can see both of those things. So to find a beautiful girl who is open, who isn't promiscuous, and who be willing to accept a person for whatever they are, again, whatever they are, whatever stage they are in their life, yeah, then that's a person who demonstrates to me that they understand time. We all say we want to grow. We all say we want to grow. But we don't understand time. So how can you grow without time? Which is why, when I was a fourth grade teacher, I wanted to show them time. Got to give yourself some time to grow. We grew bean plants. And guess what? Most of them died. And that was the lesson. Most of them died. And guess what? The effort that you put into your plant is how it survived. And then some people got a chance to just get lucky. And so we had a bunch of kids who sprouted over the break. They had a bunch of kids who didn't. They had a bunch of kids who didn't do it right, so nothing grew. Had a bunch of kids who also didn't do it right, but something grew. And then we had some people who just did it as lazy as possible, and theirs grew so much. And then we got people who tried so hard and nothing happened. All of these different perspectives or feelings were justified with all of the different experiences that we saw plus time. I saw all 28 kids, but over the time I saw all the changes between the 28 kids, right? So, again, this is where we're at in regards to helping people see each other, helping people grow, helping ourselves be the assistants to ourselves. It's about allowing us to leave space for others to come in and teach us. But again, it's not for me to go off and teach somebody else. It's for me to turn around and try to apply it to myself, take that 12 degree knowledge and help out the 5 degree-year-old knowledge inside of me. If I didn't have parents teaching me, cultivating me, but maybe I had a good teacher, again, I'm still probably going to be lacking. So again, it's the time put in. If you go play baseball every once in a while, you might be a every once in a while pretty good player. But if you go play baseball every single day, you'll probably be better, right? Again, that's called time. So, again, learning, growing, changing up spaces, changing up ratios of time. These are the things that we use to grow. But if we can't apply that to ourselves, to coach ourselves through our own changes, well, shit. Well, shit. Are you really a person who's trying to grow? Are you spiritual? I can't say so. I would have to say no. I think that you will be a person who's living in the material world, even if you don't have all the materials, even if you do have all the materials. I think living is more important than having, but I think having is more important than living, right? So I can say that and I can let a part of myself die, have a funeral, pay my respects, and then have the shit that I want. So the me who just needed to have an apartment or a house, who just needed to be in a relationship and start a family, who just needed to be traditional and follow the rules and marry the girl, your high school girl, you know, all of those things just need to die. That person needs to die. And so, just to piggyback on that, um, I'm in Vegas right now, and I've been to Vegas before, and I've been to Vegas a few times after this. But for some reason, the only person, like my heart is healing. That's why I go to old places. But my heart is healing, and what part of my heart is healing right now is like I was wishing that I was with my high school sweetheart, with who I am now, being able to be in Vegas as I am right now with her. I just felt like every time we came out here, it was never us just being together as me and her. It was always something that took us away from us connecting to each other. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I just know as time and things played out, that probably would have helped. And it's not that I'm pining over her. I'm in a space that I haven't been with in a while. So now these feelings are reawoken. Oh, I remember this, and that's it. Again, I've been to Vegas. There's 2 times in particular that I'm thinking about. One time when we came out here to watch for her sister's wedding, and then another time for my mom's wedding. And as I look at the difference between that time and this time, in the distance, and then the time in between, I get sad because we both we really tried hard for each other. I think we did. I think we truly did have a lot of love for each other. We were just young, we didn't understand, and of course, when we got people around us that we trust, we're going to listen to those folks. So for me, I wish I could. I gave her a lot. We're great. Again, we were together for 8.5 years, so it wasn't all bad. But I wish I would have been able to give her more parts of me. And when we broke up, I had told her that I was pretty much breaking up with her because I knew she wasn't my wife. And I would always voice it like that. Like, she would remind me that I would say things like, yeah, my wife this and my wife that. And she, being my girlfriend for so long, wanting to be my wife, is probably offended. Like, nigga, what? Is that not me? Who are you talking to? What? And so it just never really clicked. A lot of things didn't really click. She didn't talk. She didn't want to talk as much. She just wanted to do shit, which is cool. That was that Leo energy that she needed to embrace, and she couldn't embrace because she didn't know how. And then when I would do the things that I would do, because I was so catering to her and her emotions, she couldn't feel all the fire within me. She was too close. She was too close. So when you get closer to a star, it gets colder. I don't know if y'all know that, but the inside of our sun is cold as a bitch. I mean, it's below freezing level in space. Do y'all not understand that shit? That means light being shined comes from a cold heart. And so when we broke up and she got with her dude, or her eventual husband, yeah, she got a husband and married, she got a kid and shit. Like, it ain't nothing that I didn't think would happen. You know, it's what I wanted to happen for her. I just couldn't give her those things because look at me now. Even if I was to keep the house, you know, and the apartment and shit, I wouldn't be happy. And so when I was with her, she made me so happy. But the environment and the situations and everything else outside of it made me not happy. So I would drink and smoke so much, even though I would like be a great provider. Provided like a motherfucker. Emotionally, physically, sexually, all of it, all of it. And the only problem is that when I would focus on one, I couldn't focus on another. And then the time that I should have been used focusing on the other, I, I drunk and smoked. So I mean, that's just me trying to help people understand like themselves because I don't mind. I don't mind telling these stories. It helps people, and I have a higher depth of knowledge than most people on these things called me. So I can know myself, but I'm hoping that my experiences will help you learn yourself too. So I'm definitely going to edit this video and just chop it into the talks versus the reading. But yeah, man. I just really want to show y'all how spaces change. And again, I've been to this place more times with friends. Like there was a time where I was with my best friend and my other best friend, and these two dudes eventually stopped talking and stopped being friends. But we were all such good friends, and I had a really good relationship with both of them individually. And then I didn't. And I think they both was involved in the bullshit with my brothers too. Again, I assumed. So guess what? I I'm not going to wait to find out if it's yes or no. I made that choice, and one of them, oh, I think they both got girls and shit now. One of them is married to his college girl. The one I was, again, if I had to see life play out in a certain way, it would be great. But they couldn't see my life. They couldn't see their lives playing out with the way that I wanted to see life, and so none of them are here any longer with me because of those things that I'm expressing. But we had a blast. And then I came here again with just one of those best friends. No, I'm thinking at the same time. We was in Henderson, and then we went to Vegas at the same time. We had so much fun, man. There's another time where I came out here with my pretend brother. And then there's another time where I came out here by my damn self. Just came out here. So there's so many different times that I've been here, seen all of these things, been in these same places. But for some reason, when I'm here after I let all of this other shit go, for some reason now I'm able to recall that like hurt feeling of, damn, I wish I would be able to share this with you. It's that longing. I mean, other than that, it's just a feeling that I'm acknowledging for the first time and letting go. Because at the end of the day, if she was to come back, will I be attracted to her? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Will I have emotions for her? Maybe. I don't know. You know, I don't block myself off from those things. But she off limits. She's a mom. I've dated moms. The girl who I dated after her, she was a mom. Which, that was a mom of 4 kids, and I would never do that again. But I was also talking to another girl who's a mom of 1. But I thought she was trying to still get with her baby daddy. I think she was still in love with him. So for me, the mom thing is a no-go for me. Just for the simple fact that I've had experiences doing it, and guess what? It didn't really work out. And I have the right to say it because I tried it multiple times. It just didn't work out. Different versions of me. I just know that I could. I just know that if I cared about the woman enough, then I probably will. But I know that if there is more than one, it's a no-go. So it's literally, I'm not trying to date a single mom, but I potentially would if there was one. Again, but that woman would have to really bring in and show a ton of value because I enjoy everything as I am, and that sacrifice that I would have to make would be to adjust. And that's it. So it is simple for me to understand and see these things when I go to a place that allows me to reflect, and then it gives me an opportunity to feel what I'm reflecting upon. So, yeah, talks from the last 2 days. All right. So, yeah, now let's actually really start the reading.